Welcome to Session 6 of our MOOC, Building Intercultural and Critical English Pedagogy. Today we enter a crucial moment in your learning journey, translating all the ideas you have explored, criticality, interculturality, and decoloniality, into an actual classroom design. This is where theory and practice meet. This is where you begin shaping English lessons that speak to your learners' realities, identities, and community values. By the end of this session, you will understand what a Decolonial lesson plan is, how to integrate inclusive and culturally rooted strategies, how to challenge dominant ideologies, and how to align content with your students' lived experiences. More than completing a task, you are developing the capacity to design English learning that is ethical, empowering, and context-responsive. So, what exactly is a Decolonial lesson plan? It is not simply adding local pictures to your slides or translating materials into a local language. A Decolonial lesson plan asks deeper questions. Whose language are we legitimizing? Whose stories are centered? Whose knowledge is missing? In this approach, English is not taught as a superior, global standard language, but as a tool for expression, identity, and critical engagement. In other words, teaching becomes a practice of recognition, validating the voices that textbooks often ignore. To support this, we use project-based learning. PBL is powerful because it turns students into creators of knowledge. Instead of memorizing grammar, students investigate issues they care about, collaborate with their peers, and produce meaningful outputs. PBL mirrors real life. It allows learners to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and connect English with authentic experiences. This makes it an ideal vehicle for decoloniality. Every decolonial lesson begins with understanding your context. Who are your students? What languages shape their lives? What cultural knowledge, histories, or community values do they bring? And what hidden ideologies shape your school, curriculum, or textbook routines? Without grounding yourself in context, decoloniality becomes just another slogan. Once you understand your context, look critically at your existing materials. Ask, whose perspectives dominate? Are Western norms presented as universal? Are local identities invisible? Identifying these colonial patterns is the first step toward transforming them. Then, choose a theme that matters to your students. Instead of generic topics like shopping or holidays, explore themes such as local folklore, environmental issues, youth identity, intergenerational stories, or language use in the community. When students see their world reflected in the lesson, learning becomes personal and meaningful. After selecting a theme, design the tasks. These can include community interviews, documenting local English usage, analyzing media, creating stories, or preparing performances and exhibitions. Make the project multimodal, multilingual, and deeply reflective. Here, English becomes a living practice, not a set of rules to memorize. One example is the project, English from My Kampung. Students collect English expressions, signs, or interactions found in their village. They interview community members and create bilingual resources. This shows students that English already exists in their environment and that their community is a legitimate site of English use, not inferior to textbook English. This simple activity embodies the spirit of decoloniality, valuing local knowledge as meaningful and authoritative. Assessment must also shift. Rather than focusing on correctness or native-like accuracy, emphasize meaning, participation, reflection, and community impact. Use journals, discussions, showcases, or performance-based evaluations. Students are assessed not for imitating external norms, but for communicating clearly and thinking critically. Your role, then, is not to dictate but to facilitate. You guide inquiry, open conversations, challenge assumptions, and accompany students in their intellectual exploration. Decolonial teaching is relational. It grows through trust, humility, and meaningful dialogue. Your final task for this session is to design a fully developed lesson plan rooted in your learner's context, complete with objectives, materials, tasks, and assessments. Alongside it, you will write a 300-word reflection explaining your choices and the values that guided your design. Remember, there is no single formula for decolonizing English teaching. What matters is your intention, your awareness, and your commitment to honoring students' realities. Start small. Start local, and trust yourself as an educator and agent of change. Let's begin the journey. I look forward to seeing the lesson plan you will create.
Thank you very much for your attention, happy day as always, and see you in the next session.